And welcome to SFL this week, along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. Welcome to the show. Week 2 is just about wrapped up. Detroit hosting Pittsburgh tonight in about 54 minutes. But for now, we've got me and my good buddy, Mike St. Green. Welcome back. Schedule release was a long time ago, and we got football to talk about tonight.
Yeah, the schedule release show Cam was so long ago, I almost forgot, that 25 was coming up. But I did remember it was here because, look, I feel real nostalgic today. Jacksonville Kings jersey representing. I don't know if the people can see it or not. London Knights represent. Look, we got some young SFLers in this league right now, Cam, that have no idea what teams that I'm speaking of. But hey, young SFLers gather around. Jacksonville Kings drafted me many seasons ago. Round 2, pick number 44, and I'm representing them here tonight.
I can already tell you're going to carry me here today. I have terrible wisdom teeth. They grew back, Mike. They're killing me. So we're powering through as we get ready for week 3 coming up. We are off next week, and then you'll have a replacement because you're going on some family cruise. You go on a cruise every month. You live in the bougie lifestyle, and then we'll see you back here on August 11th.
I actually had family this weekend ask me, Cam, he said, are you retired? Because, man, every time I look on any type of social media, you're traveling or going somewhere, but hey, it is what it is.
Who, me?
Love to get out. Huh?
Who, me?
No, it wasn't you. It was another family member. You kind of like family, but not really.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll let you, I'll let you spend the night one time. That doesn't mean your family.
You weren't there, to be clear. It wasn't. We weren't together in any kind of a sense.
Yeah. Let's be perfectly clear.
It was very comfortable. I appreciate the hospitality, and I can't wait to see all the renos that you've done on the place since I was last there. So.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, man. Hey, week 2 has been exciting. Let's talk about week 1 though, convention weekend. We didn't have a recap show after as we were all getting back from Baltimore, but there were some exciting matchups. It was probably the best weekend of games during convention that I think we've ever had. I mean, these games were down to the wire. Let's start with the very first one, Arizona and Mexico City, the heart rate game. We were all very concerned for Eddie when we were actually watching it in real time, and oddly concerned about Mike Daggs too, because every time something bad would happen to him, his heart rate would go down as if he was just numb to the whole thing. And plenty bad happened to Mexico City because they lost that game. Your thoughts on Arizona still having the Aztecs number?
Well, I guess I should have asked this a while back, but were there really heart monitors on these guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eddie his heart rate was scaring me more than the game was. I'm like, man, this dude is gonna.
You think? Wait, hold on. You think I have time to fake heart? You think I got time to push more buttons? Come on, Mike.
Yeah, man, that was an interesting concept. And considering that it was hooked up to Eddie, that was fantastic. But man, yeah, the game itself, it warranted that type of heart rate. I'd assume, but I've seen Eddie be that way in person, and so it doesn't surprise me that his heart rate was reaching some of these levels that it was at the time.
Queen City held off Detroit at the buzzer. It was a tough weekend for Detroit. They lost. I mean, they had a chance to potentially win the game if they could have just gotten the spike off in time. And then their flag got sold to Minnesota, and then they cut it up and wore it as a cape. And there were a lot of people at home. It's like, oh, it's disrespectful. We were having a lot of fun at the convention. I think it got a little misconstrued there, offline. But Detroit almost had it. They play their home opener tonight against Pittsburgh. Excited to see them. What did you think of the new look Maulers and Queen City being able to pull that off?
Yeah, I like the new look, with them rebranding and everything and moving back to Detroit, bringing Detroit back to the SFL. And it was a tough break in week 1. It seemed like they won a very good drive to possibly pull that game out. I'm not sure, young quarterback, second season in the league. I don't know if that had something to do with them not being able to execute the way that they needed to down the stretch and get at least one more playoff, because they really looked like they were knocking on the door to pull that victory off. But unfortunately, it didn't happen for those guys week one, but obviously a big opportunity here tonight against Pittsburgh in their home opener to see if they can get in that win column.
At halftime of the Bossier City, Florida game, it looked like the rebuild in Florida was in full effect. I mean, they were playing really bad. Isaac Covert, I think, had maybe three or four completions at the half in that game. Bossier City was all over him, and then Jeff Banfield got hurt and everything changed. Isaac Covert played a fantastic second half. Florida came all the way back. They got a goal line stand on a 2-point conversion that would have tied the game at 28, and they were able to hold them off for the win. That was as impressive of a week one win, I think, as there was across the league. They did it on the road, too.
Yeah, it definitely was, Cam. With the rookie quarterback coming in, we did not know what to expect. I remember back in the schedule release show, I was like, I really didn't know what to expect from Florida, but I didn't expect great things. But then I remember watching that game last week, and I'm thinking, this is still, they're still the Florida Storm. They're one of the franchise in this league. They're storied. They can pull out things that we've never seen before that, other teams that haven't. So it surprised me because of the experience of the quarterback. But when I really let it sink in, I'm like, man, this is mighty. This is what he does. They know what they're doing over there in that organization. And they were able to come through with a huge win. We're going to probably, I don't know if we're going to see their highlight tonight, but took a step back this weekend. But no surprise that Florida, they're able to pull some things out of the hat that other people haven't seen and come up with W's.
You know what ticks me off, Mike? We're at 37 viewers right now. Man, SFL Nation is asleep at the wheel. The Matt Wilson kickoff show on Friday peaked at 68. What they got that we don't got? You know what they got? A bunch of hope, because on Monday, half of y'all have lost and you're not watching the show. It's just, it's outrageous, Mike. There's no reason why Dags and Gerald should be beating us in the ratings. What do you think?
Well, Cam, towards the end of the last season, they were saying that we were the 5th best show in the league, and it's only, I think, 3 other shows. So I don't know how that happens, but the people, maybe they don't have as much love for us. I have no idea, but we do the best we can with what we have.
Hey, anything else stick out for convention weekend for you, Mike? Anything you want to touch on?
Oh, Cam, man, it's hard for me to remember what happened yesterday, let alone a week and a half ago. You would probably have to throw somebody out there, but
you're on the sauce again, man.
But what really did stand out, though, as you mentioned, there was a lot of exciting games. It just seemed like, I think maybe a blowout or two, or non-competitive. I don't think there was any real blowouts, but other than Albuquerque, that one stood out as far as a blowout goes. But most of the weekend was competitive, and it was just exciting games all weekend, and just a fantastic week. And I'm glad you guys had a great time over there, and man, the revealing of the trophy was cool. I thought I would get a look at it tonight, but hopefully we'll get to see that next time out. But just a fantastic weekend of games, and man, no better way to kick off the season 25.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to have the trophy right back there behind me, right in that little gap. But Mike and I actually have to meet halfway. I think we're meeting in Nashville. Mike O'Neill, Mike Daggs, and myself, Brooke, Kelly, we're all coming together to spend some time in Nashville at some point in the off season, so that I can collect all my crap, because that convention was a long way away, and I got a lot of stuff to store here. So it was a great time. And hey, shout out to Rain Rie. I know I mossed you in flag football and we got the dub, but it's all good. You can catch me next time. Just continuing to dominate physically, Mike. It's a gift of mine.
I've never seen this physical dominance personally.
Get out of here.
Well, we're gonna have to put that to the test at the next convention, man. I'm gonna have to be there, and if I'm in shape enough, and I'm getting a little old in the tooth, Cam. These gray hairs are not just for show.
I wish I had old teeth. I got too many new teeth. It's killing me. Let's get to the highlights of week 2, and let's start with Lexington and Arizona. What a game. that was. We start with Fox Highwind. What a difference that Highwind has made to this team just in the first couple of weeks. He scores the touchdown at the end of the first quarter, making it 7-0. Lexington strikes right back. Gabriel Manning down to the 1-yard line. It was good to see him involved early on. First and goal at the 1. Lexington would push the pile in. Deion James, no Phoenix Jones this season. Both Lexington and Arizona 1-0. Winning on convention weekend. Arizona playing their second straight road game. Lexington their second straight home game. But this is when it started to fall apart on Arizona, Mike, because Ashley Jackson and the rest of the crew turned the ball over 6 times. But guys like Fox Highwind able to bail them out.
Yeah, Fox Highwind. Yeah, well, first of all, Ashley Jackson, she struggled for a vast majority of this game, but Fox Highwind coming over in the offseason, man, he's been a huge pickup for the Scorpions, and he is scoring his second touchdown of the game.
Deep ball to DJ Bandit as Lexington, their offense a little up and down today, but they made just enough big plays to stay ahead of Arizona for most of this game. They got a first and goal with 3:40 to go in the third, and then on the very next play, we're able to punch it in. So the Miners back up by 10, trying to get to 2-0. Still a 10-point game with 4:15 to go in the fourth quarter, but Arizona was clutch. Brad Jones runs in that touchdown, makes it a 3-point game. Lexington starts sweating. Third and goal at the 8. They actually run it, play conservative to force Arizona into taking their second timeout, thinking there's no way the Scorpions are going to get down the field with one timeout, but they got Fox Highwind down to the 8 and eventually punched it in. What a game.
Yeah, fantastic game. But I mentioned Ashley Jackson's struggles, but the 5 interceptions, that didn't matter coming up to this last drive when she came through clutch, and we see the big touchdown right there again to Fox. Fox had a huge game, and Arizona goes to 2-0.
Jackson made it happen. Not only 2-0, but 2-0 on the road for Arizona to start the season. Just an incredible comeback. They had no business really winning that game. Arizona actually did not punt in the game because every time they didn't score, they turned the ball over. Wild stat. You don't often see that. Ashley Jackson sat down with the hero of the game, Fox Highwind, and also Coach Gage. You never know what he's going to say. PGI is back right here on SFL this week.
What's up, and welcome back to PGI, where I am joined with my wide receiver, Mr. Fox Highwind of the Arizona Scorpions, coming off a very dramatic, but much needed win over the Lexington Miners, 34-30. What's going on, man? How are you?
How you doing, Ashley? I'm my heart's still beating.
Man, I'm telling you, it was a match to behold. I think that was a really great way to start off a Saturday, and definitely gave everybody their money's worth. So tell me, from your perspective, man, you had a fantastic game specifically where you had a kick return touchdown. You also helped score, I want to say, the last touchdown of the game too, to help put us over the top.
Yes.
So tell us about that, man.
Well, so I really don't know what to say. I wanted to contribute and help keep us in games. Anybody who knows me knows that I try to be a selfless person and want everybody to have a chance to get the ball. But so it makes, whenever I can make a play and do anything myself, it really helps me to feel great that I'm helping out the team, because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is getting the win. And so it was pretty nice to be able to know that, like, early on in the season, I'm contributing already and being able to help Arizona get those W's.
Man, but Lexington Miners were no laughing matter. 5 interceptions thrown by yours truly, 4 sacks. What
you doing, Ashley? What are you doing back there?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's jitters. I don't know if if I'm still on the plane from Baltimore. I don't know what was happening, but what was your thoughts? What was going through your mind when you saw all the mistakes that the offense was making, but the defense was keeping us in the game?
Honestly, I know that Lexington's got a great team. Marco and Jaden do a fantastic job over there. We've got some really, really hard on defense. I knew it was going to be a battle. Tony Roberto is nobody to mess with. Berto Demora, he's fantastic. He's been in the league a long time. And of course, Gabe Manning and Alex West on the other side. I knew that our defense is really going to have to bail us out on some stuff. And really, we kept it really close. And the only reason it was as close as it was because of their defense. So on offense, I was during the first drive, the first score that we made, then we ran the ball a lot, and then suddenly there was the pass over the defender to me, and I ran it in. I think that was really important. I think keep that run game going, and I know it didn't necessarily do that because we were playing catch up a lot, but I think our defense, really did, other than up a few long places, some very talented people kept us in the game the whole time.
Vancouver is up next for the Arizona Scorpions. What do you think will have to be one of the number one things we'd have to work on maybe both offense and defense to make sure that Arizona comes out with the win?
Oh man, on offense, limiting turnovers and just smart. Defensively, I mean, we got Killian. We got to watch out for. Mark Lopez is always big. They've got a lot of talented people. I'm glad to see Vancouver come back to where they used to be in the past. Right there in the thick of things and actually make it to the championship game last season. It seems like Andy he cracked the code. So we're going to have to limit our mistakes and force them into turning some over. I think maybe putting a lot of pressure on Christian is really gonna be key and force him to make some errant throws.
Well, fantastic game, Fox. Only stat that matters in the end of the day is the W, as you were saying. So
that's right.
Congratulations on the win and keep it up.
All right. Thank you, Ashley.
Very welcome. Right. Welcome back to PGI, where we are joined with Mr. Eddie Gage, coach of the Arizona Scorpion, as well as co-owner. And inquiring minds want to know, sir, seeing that 34-30 victory that you watched Arizona win, how high did your heart rate go? What did it max out at?
I don't know, because I don't monitor it during games, so I couldn't tell you. But I do know that my high heart rate alert went off a few times. I can tell you that.
Of course it did. Of course,
that's every week. We could be up by 20, and you seen that alert go off. We were up 20 in the fourth quarter. I forget against who, and my heart rate went off. So I'm used to it.
Yeah, but just make sure you keep it under wraps, man. We need you around. But so, can you explain why was there such a stark difference in the offense from week 1 to week 2? On week 1, no mistakes. Maybe 1 or 2 sacks, if that. To this game where it was like 4 sacks, 5 interceptions. So, what happened there?
Yeah, well, as I told you guys before the game started, I'm trying to be more aggressive with the offense. But with being more aggressive and taking more risks, you have to take the good with the bad. And sometimes you're going to have games in which when you're being aggressive, things are going to go your way. I didn't quite see it to that extent in Sims that we ran, but nonetheless, the only stat that matters is the W, and somehow we got it. So that's all I'm worried about.
Indeed. Fox Highwind, fantastic performance. You decided to put him on special teams. Why did you make that decision?
You know the answer to that question if you read the locker room. I don't want to put that out there publicly, but it was literally a last-minute decision to put him out there, and it turned out to pay off for us. So,
all right, coach. So, defense held strong. as they often do. You have a formidable opponent. Not to say Lexington was by any means, wasn't, but Vancouver's up next.
Hmm.
What are some of the major changes, or what are some things that you know that you're going to have to work on for Vancouver? Because they just put up 40 points.
41.
41. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Vancouver's tough because they come at you with a variety of ways. Sometimes they come out with a run heavy or run focused offense, and sometimes they like to air it out. So you just never know what's coming. You have to try and be prepared for everything. So shout out to Mark Lopez and those guys over there for doing their thing. Did not expect them to put up 41 points against the 5-time champion Vultures. I don't know. I just got to try to prepare for everything, and hopefully things come out our way. It's going to be tough because I just can't focus on one single thing.
Yeah.
I'm not certain they're going to use the same playbook next week or use a playbook from what they've shown in the past, or maybe even a new book altogether. So with it being so early and only having one game of tape on them, it's just hard to, guess that. So I don't want to necessarily put too much focus on what they did week 1 because I wouldn't be surprised if they showing something new week 3.
Indeed. Well, hell of a game, coach. Came out with the win. Hopefully, it won't be that close, further down the line, even though we gave the fans, what they came for, which is that excitement. So kudos for getting the win, coach.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all could be on 22 other teams, but y'all decided to be here with me. And for that, I appreciate y'all.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your time.
Arizona, I love y'all, man. Let's go get it.
Indeed. Let's do it. Back to you in the booth.
Thank you, Ashley. And let's go to Minnesota, where Oklahoma City on Friday night was laying the hammer to the legend early on. Tiberius Bovine back at tight end makes it 7-0 Oklahoma City. King Jackson, the new quarterback, hits Queen Jackson for the touchdown, 14-3. An old school Motor City V8s connection. 8:17 to go in the second quarter, and it's plays like this, Mike, that kept Minnesota in the game. They were big play Minnesota all night.
Yeah, Minnesota, they needed these big plays. I was kind of worried about Jason Franch there when he slowed down before the end zone. I was hoping that he wouldn't toss the ball away before he got to the goal line. But, yeah, they needed every big play in this game to keep pace with the Renegades.
King to Queen again, wide open, first down inside the 30, down to the 22-yard line. Oklahoma City keeping the pressure up. King Jackson, another touchdown over the middle. Stephen McMichaels, 24-10. You can see at that point Minnesota had not converted a third down. But we knew in the second half they were going to get going. Isaac Knox cut the deficit to 3, 27-24. And then Johnny Reno using his legs, delivering a pretty ball to the sideline. E.J. Minson with the catch. Minnesota's in scoring position. This is the different Oklahoma City's defense. They gave up some big plays tonight, Mike, or Friday night, Mike, but they came up with some clutch moments too, like this one right here.
Yeah, and a big sack right here, the big time in this game. And then as I was watching this game also, Cam, the Romans, who have made a return back to the SFL, they made a couple of plays and made a difference in this game as well.
Quag Mam throwing down a big man. Yes, ma'am. 34-30. And at this point, you're thinking, well, it's definitely over. Oklahoma City's done. King the Queen with a score. They win it. 37-34. What kind of world are we living in? Oklahoma City and Los Angeles with huge wins this week. We'll get to more from LA in a little while, but Oklahoma City had every opportunity to throw that game away. Minnesota had every opportunity to get blown out. Ultimately, the Renegades on the road made it happen. How did this happen?
I'm starting to figure out, Cam. I talked about this guy a lot last season, and King Jackson going over to Oklahoma City. I think that's going to be a huge pickup for them. 445 yards passing in this game, 4 touchdowns. He was huge for them. No interceptions. Christian Bachkalupi had a great game. And as you mentioned, the defense, they gave up some big plays, but they made the plays when they needed them. But more so than anything, King Jackson really impressed me with the way that he was able to, move this offense and able to put points on the board.
Before we get to the Minnesota side of things, Skippy with a 1999 super chat. All right, hold up. Y'all seen this man? He's wearing my shirt. Okay, listen. Y'all probably see Skippy making a comment about my shirt every week. It is exhausting. It makes no sense. She thinks I only own one shirt. Every time I come on with a different shirt, she says I wore the same shirt last week. It makes no sense. And this is the shirt, apparently. This is the only one, apparently, that I own. Mike, make it make sense. How many shirts do you own?
Several, probably a dozens that I don't ever wear anymore. But I have several shirts. But she paid $19.95, so she gets to say what she wants.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, Mike. If I only own one shirt, then I guess I only own one shirt. Minnesota owns no wins. They're 0-2. They lost to Chicago. They lost to Oklahoma City. What's going on in Minnesota?
Turnovers, Cam. The turnover bug has really bitten them early in the season. 6 interceptions from Johnny Reno. That's just not acceptable. And of course, Arizona, we saw them win with a ton of turnovers in this particular game, but that's not the norm. They're going to have to clean that up if they want to get back to being championship contenders. I think the pieces are still there. We still see a Jason French. We still see a Colin Hart. We see an Isaac Knox. Quaig Mam has a couple of kick return touchdowns early in the season. But the turnover bug is hurting them right now, and they're going to have to figure that out.
Very talented team. And, hey, guess what? Denver and Oklahoma City lead the Central. They are 1-0. Denver had a bye this week. Oklahoma City had a bye in the first week. All right, hey, man, devastation and elation between these two teams. Bossier City and Charleston, two polar opposite seasons. This was back and forth all day. One of the best games you'll see all season. Yayo Montana with a pass out of the backfield. Then Bossier City's next possession, they follow that up with a score. Robert Nemchek with the dive. We're tied at 7. End of the first quarter, Charleston fights back. Nick Hoagland with the score, 14-7, Charleston Predators. They won in overtime last week over L.A. They came back from 11 points down. Vincalia with the score, 14-14, just before the end of the first half. In the third quarter, rollout, Kopeck hits Nick twice for the score, 21-14. Charleston again, back up 7. Pickler ties it again. Garrison Blue, 21-21, 9 minutes to go. Bossier City still has not led. 3rd and 2. Charleston trying to get another touchdown on the board, and it's a big-time stop from Bossier City. McGuire with that tackle. Now the Steamers have a chance to go down and win the game with a touchdown, but they have to settle for a 49-yard field goal. This was dicey, just inside the right upright. It's good. We're going to overtime again. Second straight week for Charleston, going to OT, 24-24. 2:25 left in the overtime. Kopeck scrambling. Bossier City causes the fumble, recovers the fumble. You think, Mike, at this point in the game that Bossier City's got all the momentum and they're going to take it home, but Charleston had one last gasp left in them.
Yeah, you would think that Bossier City would be able to take advantage of that, go down the field, get a field goal, something easy to win the ball game, but then we see this.
Too bad. It's a pick, and it's a return into scoring position, just barely, almost. Charleston gets just enough yards to give Cameron Duty a 39-yard game-winning kick that is good, and Charleston wins it 27-24. They've won back-to-back overtime games, and Bossier City's lost back-to-back heartbreakers. Any thoughts on how different these two teams are despite their records?
I'll start in Charleston, and they always seem to, play well. They play solidly It seems like week in and week out, and this has been for several seasons now. Had a down season last year. They came out on losing in on a lot of close games. It seems like, but Iman Kopak, his second season. I won't say it's his second season starting over there with this team. He's fully entrenched as the starting quarterback over there. I really like the move of bringing in Yayo Montana and putting him in the running back spot. I just think they look like they have some things rolling right now. Starting 2-0 for the first time, in many seasons. Look out for Charleston. We'll see how they're going to, progress throughout the next few weeks. But I like the way they're looking so far.
Since season 17, Bossier City and Charleston have not started 0-2 and 2-0. It's Colin Coward talks a lot about this. It's the law of averages. Remember last season we were on this show talking about how Charleston lost another heartbreaker over and over and over again. It just seems like they couldn't get over the hump. It all evens out in the end. Now they're winning these close games, and now they're 2-0. So I think Charleston was always this good. They just couldn't close it last season.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Cam. Like as I mentioned, they are always competitive. They're always in games. You're not going to go into and when you see Charleston on the schedule, you're not going to say, "Oh, we can take a week off this week," because you're going to get everything that they have, and they've proven that. But if you want to talk about Bossier City for a little bit, I'm heartbreaking loss, as you mentioned, both weeks. A couple of mistakes at the end of ball games have cost them a little bit, but I think they'll be okay. You look at the stat sheets. Johnny Pickles leading the league in passing right now. Vin Callia's up there in receiving. Probably need a little bit more from the running game to help balance some things out, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to get some things straightened out here in the next few weeks, and we'll see what the real Bossier City Steamers look like.
Blowouts of the week, Albuquerque crushed Washington. They're still undefeated at home in their SFL era. It's one of the craziest SFL stats in league history. Is anybody ever going to stop them? Washington threw the ball a lot. It didn't really work. We saw that in the game last year against Vancouver. I was really surprised they didn't try to hammer the ground game against Albuquerque, because they certainly hammered the ground game against Washington.
Albuquerque on the ground right now, I want to say almost 500 yards, 450 yards, I want to say, between Josh Slapp and Jason Williams in the first two games. And if you can average 200 yards a game rushing, you're going to give any team trouble. And Josh Slapp, man, that's what absolute excellent pickup for them. I know he wanted to go back to where he spent his minor league days back over there in Albuquerque. Huge pickup for these guys. To me, in my opinion, Josh Slapp, the best running back in the SFL for several seasons running right now. And one of the things that makes him special is that he can hit the home run ball from any point on the field. We saw him with a 50-plus yard touchdown run opening week. I think he had another huge touchdown run this week. Just excellent back, and combining him with Jason Williams, these guys are going to be trouble if some teams can get corral that run game.
To all the stamina boo birds out there, look at what Albuquerque's doing with none of it. They are dominating the old school way with a couple of very talented backs in the backfield. How about L.A. murdering Florida? You look at the box score, it didn't really look that bad, but wow, Los Angeles hammered the Storm to drop Florida to 1-1. L.A. improves to 1-1 after that overtime loss to Charleston. They shook it off. They didn't overreact. I think L.A. is more in the driver's seat than the passenger seat at this point, Mike. It really does look like Coach Sully and the rest of that staff, they really did look inward, and I think it's working.
And as everyone knows, I'm a kind of not diehard LA fan, but I've been waiting to see some improvement from these guys for years. I've been always kind of just rooting for them to perform well, and I'm really happy, for Sully to get that first win under his belt and get that, kind of get the monkey off his back, especially after losing in week one, to come back and bounce back and get a big victory. And so maybe some things will start going in the right direction for LA after this win this week.
And how about the home opener right at midfield? Change the narrative right in front of all their hometown fans, and then they go out there and they take out a multiple SFL champion. That was a big statement. Houston all over Queen City last night, 45-9. It didn't even feel that close at times. It was a tough watch. Houston all over them, bounced back after that loss to Washington. Your thoughts on your squad picking up the win?
And the defense, they were crazy great yesterday, in particular the pass rush. Man, the pressure on the QCC quarterback all game long, 6 sacks on the game. One Mississippi we talk about a huge pickup. He's been a huge pickup for Houston as well. He wanted to come over. He wanted to be utilized in the pass rush, and he came through huge last night with a couple of sacks. Blake Craze was a big pickup a couple of seasons ago. He's been fantastic in the pass rush game, and man, the pressure on Queen City the entire game caused them problems. Offense did enough. Man, Tino Sosa was great last night. Baloo Scott had a couple of touchdown runs, so a complete win. Defense dominated, offense did their job, and came away with a huge victory.
And Queen City, we've been here before. Don't overreact like Queen City is not a good football team, because last year in week 3 they were 2-0. They went on the road to a Southern opponent and they got waxed. Bossier City beat them 52-3. Everybody said, "Oh, the sky is falling. Queen City's not as good as we thought they were." And then Corsairs went on to have a good season. In the very next week, Mike, remember they beat Albuquerque, so I expect Queen City will bounce back, but just another strange early season loss for them.
Yeah, I believe they will, Cam. The roster is solid. I mean, a lot of the same guys are there. Only concern for me as far as how much they will bounce back, or how will they be able to get things straightened out. The young quarterback and experience, don't have a lot of experience. First season starting, will they be able to adjust to that as the season goes on? It remains to be seen. But solid roster over there. These guys will get some things figured out. I mean, we didn't expect a lot from them last season, and they came away with a 6-6 record. So Queen City. Long season, long way to go. They'll get some things figured out.
Ashley Jackson sat down with Jason Peace, Houston's Jason Peace, after the game to talk about the big Houston win.
Welcome back to PTI, where I am joined with my good friend, Mr. Jason Peace, defensive coordinator over from the Houston Headhunters, that had a dominating performance over the Queen City Corsairs, winning 45-9. Man, Jason, y'all have to let up, man. I mean, did you really have to score 45 on them like that?
Well, we were coming off of a tough road loss for week 1, so it was good to get home and open one up at home in front of the home fans. So yeah, no, it was needed. It was needed to get that. Now the season has started for us.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you think the key difference was from week 1 to week 2 with Houston?
We brought a lot of pressure this week, I think. And then plus, I mean, we were playing, that's a tough Washington team, playing on the road to them. I mean, that team ain't no joke. So, we came into that game last week with a lead at halftime and just kind of slowed down at half. And they made the plays in the second half. We didn't. So this one, we just made plays, throughout the game, and we really closed out the second half strong. So we kind of took control of this one and kept the foot on the gas the whole game. So that was the big difference.
I mean, balancing that beautiful ground game that you guys had with the defense.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has been said about what we lost, but not a lot has been said about what we gained. I mean, we've gained some players. I mean, we got our 2 Philadelphia rookies that came in this season. Don Rohr got his first 2 sacks, including a sack fumble. Toby got his first touchdown reception. So the rookies are shining. Juan Mississippi's had back-to-back games with 2 sacks and multiple tackles for loss. Just the guys that Tino and Baloo goes for 3 touchdowns. Tino goes for 100 yards and a touchdown. So, you can't, it's hard to replace some of the guys we lost, but I think the guys that we brought in are showing it can be done.
That's right. Absolutely. About the defense. So you're defensive coordinator for Houston, and only holding Queen City to 9 points is quite impressive. Without giving out too much of your secrets, what do you think was one thing that you knew you had to focus on with Queen City specifically for that outcome?
Just trying to keep Christensen, the rookie quarterback, just trying to keep him off balance. Bringing a lot of heat and making him make the right reads, I think helped a lot. Getting him to hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he wanted to. And when those sacks start getting home and he starts getting rattled, then things start to fall in place then.
Well, worked out for you guys this week. I wish you nothing but the best of luck for weeks to come, unless you're playing us, of course.
Hey, we're going to play you soon. Congrats on your start, too. Y'all are off to a good start, but we'll be playing y'all soon. We play you week 4, I think?
Something like that. We'll
Yeah, it's
see you
coming
then.
close. I'm coming after you.
Looking forward to it.
We'll see you then.
All right, Jason. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, Ashley.
All right, bye-bye.
Nice jersey, Jason. All right, Chicago and D.C. This game was full of turnovers and sloppy football. Chicago fumbles it right there. And, hey, Mike, guess what? That's what happens when you don't have a contracted running back. Things like that can happen.
No doubt about it. That was a concern of mine for Chicago coming into this season, not seeing a contracted running back, and we're seeing some of the perils of that starting to show itself on the field.
Shabazz Synergy picked off. Derek Majors, he had a great game as Chicago's still very much in this thing, 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. Here's the very next play. Type attack hits Paulie Truth. Truth had a pretty good game. People, I think, maybe are expecting a little bit more out of him so far, but I think the experiment is still ongoing. Patak trying to keep the drive alive, scrambles around, throws across his body. That's not a good throw for any quarterback.
Yeah, Cam, you cannot throw back against the grain like that, especially late, in the pressure clock like that. You have to look downfield in that situation.
Type Attack tried to run on that last play. You saw their 3rd and goal, but DC kept him contained. Averages less than 3 yards a carry, and then on 4th and long, he throws another interception. It was an ugly day for both offenses. DC able to hold on and get the win 9-3. DC now 2-0. They've won games 17-14 and 9-3. They're winning it with defense, not a lot of offense, but the Dragons are winning, a team that was not in the playoffs last season.
Yeah, especially a team not being in the playoffs, they'll take a W whichever way they can get it. At the end of the day, score more than the other team, and that's all that you want. You want to come away with the win column, but you also have to concern yourself with saying, hey, are we going to be able to continue to win, defensive battles like this? What can we do to probably wake up the offense a little bit in these situations? But I'm pretty sure that these guys are, they're constantly at the drawing board trying to figure things out. They have weapons. Connor Weston, he did have a huge week in week 1, over 100 yards receiving. So they have the weapons. Obviously, say in the backfield, they have some things that they could work with. They're just going to figure some things out and see how they can get things moving.
I think this is what we expected from Chicago. That their game plan was outstanding in week 1 against Minnesota, very balanced. Not so much this week against DC. I think they wanted to establish the run a little more. It just didn't happen. I think this is what you're going to get out of the Warriors. A lot of experimentation and a roller coaster season.
Yeah, Cam, it's funny. You don't know. It's like, okay, what are they trying to do? I remember a few seasons back when Motor City, they were experimenting with some stuff offensively, and we didn't know what they were going to do from week to week with the kind of unorthodox things that they were doing. But with what Chicago's trying to do, they're definitely going to have to get better quarterback play. You cannot have the turnovers in this situation. We don't know what the running game is going to be, as you mentioned, with the non-contracted backfield. So a lot of things are on Patak's shoulders, and he's going to have to perform.
Interested to get your take on your spectaculars from the first 2 weeks, Mike, as we've had a lot of new uniforms debut. Chicago, Los Angeles stick out. Bossier City debuted some new sleeves. I don't know if you saw those, but those are probably my favorite sleeves ever. But who gets your week 2 spectaculars on and uniform-wise on the field?
But uniform-wise, we just witnessed them. Man, I was really impressed with the DC uniform yesterday. They typically they're going to come out in something different every week. That's what they typically do. But I really like that look, kind of sleek, look that they had yesterday. They were clean, sharp. They're playing dirty, grimy football, but man, they look clean and sharp in those uniforms this weekend.
I thought maybe you were going to go L.A. What'd you think of the all black in L.A. and what do you think of the Chicago two-tone two-tone look with the different color on the front and the back?
I like it. But we know to be spectacular uniform-wise, you have to look good, play good, and also win. So that was that. But I liked Detroit in that first week, seeing them for the first time as well. But obviously they came away with the L. But yeah, I was really impressed with DC this weekend. And man, when we start talking about players, Well, we're going to go to Albuquerque and Josh Slapp. He's been excellent the first couple of weeks of the season, almost 300 yards rushing. He's been spectacular on offense. Mentioned King Jackson earlier, 445 yards in his debut this season. Quake Mam, special teams. She's been fantastic with a couple of kick returns, and defensively, you got to look at Luke Schreiner with Denver. They didn't play this week. 3 interceptions in the first week, and also Sabo Kanan first week also with 4 sacks in that ball game. So those are the spectaculars for the first couple of weeks, Cam.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think those are great. We're going to have a great couple of teams tonight on the Monday Night Spectacular, Pittsburgh and Detroit, the Maulers and the Riverhogs coming up in just a little under 10 minutes. Pittsburgh's going to be rocking all yellow on the road. We get to see Detroit at home for the first time. Beautiful stadium they got going on there. Michigan is going to be rocking tonight. And now we bring in Haynes Vision to help guide us through this early season matchup. Both teams are 0-1, but plenty of excitement on these squads. And we start with the Pittsburgh Riverhogs, who last week, Ace Fennick and the rest of the squad, I mean, they were in this game with Lexington. Someone's got to lose some of these games. Not a bad debut for Pittsburgh, but I think they wanted this win against Lexington last week. They just came up short.
Yeah, Cam, they definitely wanted to start this season out in the win column, but came up a little short. The offense, they can put up points. And that's always been their MO. They can score, but they got to tighten some things up defensively. But Ace Fennick found one of his favorite targets in Ziggy Ronan.
I like the balance that Pittsburgh showed last week. 7 catches for Ziggy, 3 for Deuce, including that touchdown there, 4 for Doug Britton. And then Mike Churchill on the ground, steady, 18 carries, 87 yards. I mean, these are the type of things when you look at a box score, you say that team knows how to get everybody the football and how to take advantage of their talent.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ace Fennick has been around this league a long time, and they're taking advantage of his veteran leadership. And, and then we see Doug Britton right there with a huge touchdown catch.
Britton 4 for 53 and the score. And, that's another thing. Fennick had a touchdown. Britton had a touchdown. Churchill had a touchdown. I mean, everybody was feasting. You see Churchill coming from behind the line of scrimmage from left to right. That's a clever little play there on the goal line. Nice little stretch look, and Churchill looked good.
Yeah, and you talk about some veteran leadership. That offensive line has veteran leadership on it as well. They did a great job springing Churchill there on the little sweep, little jet sweep type play.
The Pennsylvania showdown shifted to Pittsburgh's defense here. Amonte Dubois-Smith, the rookie, led the defense in total tackles, called him ADS for short. 13 tackles, 3 assisted, a tackle for loss, and a forced fumble in the debut. Jermaine Menefield, we know that name. We've known that name for a long time in this league, but even though he didn't get the pick there, these are the type of things that were getting Lexington off the field.
Yeah, put the Pittsburgh, they were doing a great job in certain situations, and we saw Menefield right there come through with a huge pat down.
Bubba Bruiser and Odette Boudreau, each with a tackle for loss. They can wreak havoc, defensively, and we know that getting pressure up front, I mean, Houston did it this week with 6 sacks on Queen City, can make or break things, because once you get behind the sticks, things become very simplified for the defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's a huge difference. If that defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback or stuff the running game, that makes things easier on the backside of the defense.
All right, how about the Detroit Maulers? And we start with Ethan Flowers, who in his first game against Queen City, 22 of 37 for 252 yards. Not a bad start for Detroit. I mean, look, they kind of dug themselves an early hole in this, but once they settled in, Detroit was very competitive out there.
Yeah, Flowers, he settled in nicely, Cam, and would see a huge pass to Hunt right there to pick up a first down for the Maulers.
You know what? Just a quick side note to their uniforms. I think what I like most about their uniforms, when you watch them from the broadcast angle, their helmets look purple. But then when they zoom in on it, it's just the big panther, or the big saber-tooth tiger coming across, the shell. It's a beautiful look, and that was a beautiful touchdown to C.J. Parrish, who had 5 catches last week.
Look, you talk about a huge pickup, Cam. C.J. Parrish, he 500 yards receiving, being the number 3 receiver in Houston last season. Big pickup for Detroit, and glad to see C.J. get into the end zone up there in his first game in Detroit.
You know, Detroit, another team, just like Pittsburgh. Hunt, 9 catches. Parrish, 5 catches. Went 4 catches. Gibson had 21 carries. They both played very similar games in week 1, and they both came up very similarly short.
Yeah, but both had tough luck at the end, but they both played solid football, as you mentioned. And we see Gibson here, where, we talk about the running game. He punches one in from the goal line to get them on the board again.
Defensively for Detroit, they were led by Kenneth Gaston Jr. last week. 7 tackles, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss, 3 pass defenses. He was all over the place, and that even though he makes that play, that's again that defensive front slowing things down for the linebackers to get home.
Yeah, defensive front held up the offensive line right there and gave Gaston an opportunity to fill in and come up and make a hit. And we're going to need to see more of that tonight, Cam, if they want to come away with a W.
Jubilee Marsh. Look at the position from Marsh. Even though not in a position to make an interception, Marsh sticking with the play, especially after the broken sack as Christensen was able to get away. But Marsh makes the play. The former Minnesota legend now over in Detroit. How about a couple of sacks from Thomas Matthews and Frodo Laggins on the defensive line? It was a productive day for the big men up front as well. And listen, Queen City in their first 2 weeks, win or lose, they've had trouble protecting the quarterback.
Yeah, Queen City's had a little trouble protecting the quarterback, but if they can get this type of pressure on Ace Phoenix tonight, Detroit can have a chance to come away with an opening home win, for the Detroit fans.
And don't forget about Robert Sherry in that on that defensive front as well for Detroit. Thank you, Ron Haynes, for breaking down all the film, giving us all the stats, giving us a little preview of the matchup right before Mike St. Green either sounds like a hero or a zero and makes his pick. What do you got tonight, Mike?
Damn, I was a zero a lot last season, and once it was all said and done, I didn't come out on the winning side of a lot of picks last season. But Pittsburgh coming into this game a slight 2.5 point road favorite, if I'm not mistaken. I will say this about the game: I think if Detroit can keep Pittsburgh under 30, they could possibly come out ahead. And if Pittsburgh, that defense can finally step up and give that offense a hand, if they can hold Detroit under 30, I think that's going to favor them. The young quarterback, Flowers, he's gaining some experience. As we saw, he had a solid game last week. But I think the veteran leadership in Pittsburgh is going to play, win out this week. It's going to be a tough, tight game. I think that 2.5 is pretty much on the money. What Jack's data has given us, I'm going to predict Pittsburgh will get over 30, 31-28 in a tough, exciting ball game here tonight on the SFL Spectacular.
Chris Delro, the $5 Super Chat. Detroit is ready to roll in front of the home crowd tonight. We are ready to roll as well. Just a couple minutes to kick off. We'll get everything set up with our Monday Night Spectacular crew. No studio tonight, but it is Charles Doherty, myself on the call, along with our stats crew that will introduce to you very shortly. Mike will be back on August 11th. We'll have a special guest on the show August the 4th. We are off next week. But, Mike, thank you so much for being here. It was a great week, too. Can't wait to cap it off tonight.
Yeah, man, great being back. As I mentioned, man, just excited about, this season 25. That's why I decided to say, hey, I wanted to represent all the teams and make sure that they were represented, the teams that I've been a part of since I've been, in this league. It's been fantastic, being a part of this for so many seasons and looking forward to several more. I don't know. Like I said, I'm getting long in the tooth. I don't know how many more I have left, but man, it's been exciting. It's been a great time, and just looking forward to seeing how this entire season plays out and being here with you throughout the year.
This was SFL This Week. We'll see you in Detroit very shortly. Have a great one.